Today, we are honored to have Mr. Rocha. He is one of the art teachers here at VNT. He has done plenty of art shows, not only in our city, but across in Nuevo Laredo. Thank you, Mr. Rocha, for coming in.
Thank you for inviting me.
Mr. Rocha, our first question would be, tell me a little bit of your background.
Okay, I was born here in Laredo, Texas. I have a degree, a bachelor's in fine arts, as well as a master's in fine arts. Aside from teaching, I'm also an artist.
Really? What is the definition of art, Mr. Rocha?
Well, it's kind of hard to explain. Art it tends to be this idea that once you think you have your finger on it, the job as an artist is kind of like to redefine what art actually is. But and throughout the history, we've used it to express our culture, our surroundings, and that's kind of like one of the, I guess, a short term.
Why do you think art is so important, Mr. Rocha?
Again, because it speaks of our history. It kind of like lets people in the future, it'll let them know what we were about, our contributions, how our society worked, the things that we thought about, and it keeps evolving as we keep moving forward.
When we come back, we will have more of Mr. Rocha. Thank you for continuing with us. Mr. Rocha, why do you think people don't pay much attention to art?
Well, I think people do pay attention to art. The thing is that pinpointing and defining what art actually is might be one of the misconceptions of why we think people don't pay attention to what art is. For example, many have the idea that art could only be a painting or a sculpture, where art is actually among us, like the people that design these furniture, the people that design your clothing. They're all artists, and so art is with us, and we do pay attention to these things, but maybe not in the sense of like, in the limited sense of like painting and only sculpture, but people do pay attention.
Where have you displayed your art show, Mr. Rocha?
I've had exhibitions in San Antonio, in Chicago, in LA, and I don't know, in different places in Mexico also.
Why do you think, Mr. Rocha, Laredo does not have art culture, or do we have or do we not have?
Yes, I think we do have the culture. Maybe we are, maybe we don't have it to the extent of like other cities that have actual museums and they have a lot of art galleries. But I think as we speak, the culture, the art culture is starting to catch amongst especially the youngsters. And I don't know, like right now it's a great time in Laredo to be an artist and making it happen.
Thank you. Don't change channels. When we come back, we will have more of Who's Who. Thank you for continuing with us. My last question is, where do you see your students, Mr. Rocha, in 10 years? Your art right now,
My
the
art
ones-
students?
Yes.
Well, I think by then they'll be, I don't know, maybe I'll still be around, but definitely they have a lot of potential. They could do anything that they want. I see them, you know, taking the lead as to redefining what art is, becoming art teachers, art gallerists, museum directors, and, you know, mainly anything that they want to be. So I really look forward, because as a teacher, I think that in order to change that mentality that we have of like not so many art exhibitions as years prior, but I think that if I do my job well, I think within a generation or two, that all could change. And the students that study art, that leave Laredo, they might be coming back and putting in their own token and contributing to way that art is going to be here in Laredo. So I actually look forward to that. For inviting me, and thank you to everyone watching.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Rocha. Thank you for turning on Who's Who. We will see you next week. Thank you.